So Johnny Storm, flame on. Um, the Human Torch, of course, not the only Human Torch. There's, you know, another Human Torch as well. Wasn't Peter Parker like a Human Torch for a little bit? But so obviously the character exists in many continuities and timelines and universes and but for the general consensus of the fans say that Johnny is a bit of a man whore. He's dated a lot of people. A lot of people, a lot of girls he's dated, he's had his way with. Um kind of thick-headed sometimes, impetuous, um hot-tempered, which I mean, the Human Torch. But he is overall very loyal and very heroic, and so he has that. And that's the general consensus that, while there might be some different iterations, people looking over the different versions of Johnny Storm, you see a trend of his personality, and his personality pretty much sticks through most of it. But here they want to make him different, at least compared to Chris Evans' version. Joseph Quinn explains how Johnny Storm will differ from Chris Evans' portrayal. Actor Joseph Quinn, who will play Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, in Marvel Studios' upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps, shared how his depiction of the character will differ from Chris Evans' portrayal. So the portrayal is going to be the complete opposite. Quinn first described his character, telling Entertainment Weekly, "He's a man that leads with a lot of bravado, which can be a front sometimes, but he's also funny." Okay, with you so far, isn't that most people? I mean, we all lead with, have a lot of bravado that can just be a front sometimes. And he's funny. I mean, most people are. Hell, I don't even have to do anything. I can just simply look at you. I mean, it's so ugly, it's hilarious. I mean, so, describing a person like this, it's like, oh yeah, it leads with a lot of bravado and it can be a front sometimes. Congratulations, you're describing most normal people. Next, he noted how he's different from Evans' version. Myself and Marvel Studio boss Kevin Feige were speaking about previous iterations of him and where they are culturally. He was branded as this womanizing, devil-may-care guy. But is that sexy these days? I don't think so. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people, a lot of women that have said outright on both sides, whether they're left or right, they say that the whole limp-wristed, sensitive guy, that's not attractive. They don't want an overly masculine man, but they don't want, oh my God, sweetie, I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings. And if you need to sit down and talk to me, I'm here because I understand that I suffer from toxic masculinity and I will do what I can to grow as a human being. Girls don't want that. Girls don't want that. So, and, they're trying to make Sue different, even though it's like they're trying to make her more badass, even though she's already been badass. Apparently, people forgot that women existed before the movies that come out nowadays. Like, people forget that women existed before the year 2000. Or these women creatures that are newly discovered. They want to be in lead roles now? God, we're moving too fast. Now they want to be portrayed as heroic? We just can't keep up. No, they seem to forget that women existed way before this. But now they're changing Johnny. What's next? Is Reed Richards going to be a cuck? Is the Thing going to be called the Thing because Ben is actually going through an existential crisis about his gender identity and he doesn't know where he belongs, and that's why he calls himself the Thing? Like, what the fuck is this? This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings. And hopefully there's a self-awareness about what's driving that attention-seeking behavior. Director Matt Shankman provided more details about Storm's character. He is really smart. He's on a spaceship for a reason. And I think sometimes people forget that in various comic stories. He's been on one of the most he's been the one of the most heroic of them, even if he's undercutting his heroism at every turn through humor. He's Sue's brother, which means they're cut from a similar cloth. And then we read this the freaking last time, Galactus and the female Silver Surfer. Julia Garner. Huh. I didn't read that the last time. Um, the film arrives in theaters July 25th. He was branded as this womanizing devil-may-care guy, but is that sexy these days? I'm sure some woman told him this is totally not sexy these days, then immediately hooked up with a devil-may-care dude on Tinder. Um, oh yeah, women love that. Wipe. Sounds like woke DEI ideology has been inserted. Utter failure. Looking more and more like film arrives dead on arrival in theaters on July 25th. Again, this is supposed to be like a 60s style, so trying to make him a modern man where he's more in touch with his feelings. Again, there might be some iterations of Johnny that are different, but the general consensus is that he's a man whore. He's a man whore. You know, he very cocky and brass, brash with a lot of his actions, but he is a genuinely good person. Very protective of his sister. You know, he likes to mess with Ben all the time, but it's clearly out of, affection. You know, he genuinely cares about the guy. You know, even though he makes fun of maybe make fun of his appearance or whatever, it comes from a place of, hey, you got to learn to laugh at it. You know, he's not doing it out of malice or hatred but that's his character. He likes women. He likes women. Look at all the women he's dated, through the comics and different continuities and universes and this and that. He likes women like a normal man. And you saw that with Chris Evans, Johnny. Same thing. He loved women. So to take something like masculine, some kind of semblance of masculinity and be like, oh, well, we're not going to do that. He's going to be more open with his feelings and him and, yeah. Like the fact that he's like, oh, is that really attractive? Is that really still sexy? But is that sexy these days? Well, according to polls and studies, yes. Yes, it is. Women don't like men who are like this. If they wanted a guy like that, they would just have gay friends. Like stereotypical gay friends. But they don't want, and if they do, it's because they're easily manipulated and you could easily take advantage of them. Well, I feel like, maybe having other partners, but while we're together would just be a really good experience. I totally understand you, and I am perfectly fine if you want to have another partner besides me. No real woman wants that. No woman wants an overly sensitive man. Now, I know you're like, oh, he's not going to be overly sensitive. They're still tweaking his behavior to make him completely opposite of what Johnny Storm is. So it doesn't matter if they don't make him like, oh my God, sweetie. Oh, Sue, are you okay? Are you and Reed having troubles? Because I'm here to listen. Ben, you are my dearest friend, and if you ever need someone to talk to, I am so sorry for anything I've said to you. He's not that. He's not that. Again, this is taking place, supposed to be like a retro 60s kind of thing. I mean, you can argue that hippies were back then and all that, but um, just why not just leave the character alone? Again, are we gonna see Reed as a cuck? Is the thing gonna be called a thing because Ben's having an existential identity crisis? I mean, who's next? Who's next? And people were like, yeah, this dude looks like that's the kind of character he wants to portray. Um, and people were like, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I appreciate the Jessica Alba one a lot more now. I mean, they weren't, it was bad, but at least it was entertaining. And I don't even remember the other one, the reboot. I don't even remember it. I know I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember anything about it. But yeah. Again, just because there might be some iterations of Johnny that might be different, the general consensus is that he's a man whore. He loves his women. He's brash. He's impulsive. But he's still a good person. He's a hero, and he does genuinely care about people. About his sister and Reed and Ben. Why not just? It's like they're just afraid of masculinity. Like there's nothing wrong with masculinity. The same thing. There's no problem with femininity. Like, oh well, we need to make all girls badasses now. Why? You do know it's okay for girls to be feminine, right? Like, well, not all girls are feminine. Okay, that's great. That's great. But you don't have to keep changing every female character in every IP, every game, to be badass. Because not every woman is badass. So you're trying to overly represent a group of people that, not every woman is badass and not every woman is feminine. You need to find a balance. Same thing with this. You don't want to make him a complete man whore, but don't make him a complete, like, oh my, I'm so sorry. Masculinity is still okay, especially when you're a hero. Look at all the everyday heroes who risk their lives. That takes masculinity. Like the men who are jumping into fucking fires, that takes masculinity. Being masculine is okay. Being feminine is okay. Why are these people so afraid of that? Whatever. Whatever. Modern day. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye.